Well, every time you went snowboarding, you knew you were on the fringes because you were the only one snowboarding. You couldn't move in the lift line because people were talking to you or they were looking at you. They just didn't know what you were.
We're trying to promote our product and describe what it is, and at the same time inform people about a new sport.
Having an idea of a shape in your head and then finding out that it works for the kind of riding you want to do.
All of his engineering genius was applied to this quest.
Or how about an apple, orange, or a banana?
I started Gnu back in '84.
Back then, there's this weird concept as to what works best in skiing, and so then what's going to work best for snowboarding. And to decipher this mess is kind of trial and error.
That summer, I really got to know Pete on some surf journeys. Pete was in college at the UW. On a surf trip, he I think starts thinking about it and going, maybe I want to be part of this.
When Mike gave me a chance, I was like, this was better than any dream I had, and there's no way I wasn't going to do it and give it everything I had.
Am I the happy loss? Will I still recoil?
One of the clearest memories for me was Mike and I riding up the chair and looking back at our marks at ski acres, and there's some flat sections, and I just remember seeing trenches where we were just railing carved turns, and just looking at them, you could just see these deep gouges that like I'd never seen on the hill before.
That year, the first year of no fins, just having camber and steel edges and super deep side cuts, we went to the Mount Baker Bank Slalom. Instead of running it down the course they run it down now, they ran it down the Pan Dome, and it was super icy. It was a Mach Speed GS course that scared a lot of people away. Well, we were the sole entrant with no fins, steel edges, camber. Our boards were fast. And so we all blew out of the turns. We couldn't hold the G's around the turns. We didn't even place. We did crappy. So we went home feeling defeated. We got our asses kicked. But I remember all of a sudden we started getting phone calls from Dan Donnelly, Amy Howitt, Marcelo Dogas, Jay Cadmus. They saw the speed that we had. All of a sudden, pretty much everybody at Baker wanted to ride our board. And that's right when Baker was starting to get on the map. And that's when we knew we had something going. Between 84 and 88, it's amazing looking at that 4-year compressed period and realize how much happened.
The demand's been so large with snowboards that the top 3 manufacturers the last 2 years have been sold out midway through the season to where it's virtually impossible to get certain models.
Then in '88, we started getting boards made in Austria. I hooked up with Paul A. I had zero money. When I met with Paul A, I led them to to believe that I had access to getting a bank loan, which I didn't even have that access. At the last minute, in the 11th hour, they started making prototypes for me. They made 5,500 snowboards for me with no letter of credit, no down payment, nothing but a handshake. Our distributor at the time ran a good business as far as they knew how to distribute. We had just signed a worldwide exclusive with them, but they didn't pay the bills. They owed us $400,000, so now we had no income, and we were on a bank loan, $150,000 we owed the bank. We had to eat the bank loan, didn't get paid.
And at the time, the business was in peril constantly. I had no idea if we were going to have a job the next day. There's definitely some times where we sat on the porch kind of by ourselves and went, huh. A couple of moments where you're just like, is this working out?
Yeah!
It was Rainier Bank at the time, and went down there and said, give me $50,000 more. I'm going to start a new brand called Lib Tech and pay back the debt from these other guys that owe it on Gnu. And so I just felt that pressure, and was it fun? Not at all. Would I want to do it again? Never. I mean, it's painful, you can't sleep at night, but it makes you hungry, and it makes you push the limits.
You're desperate, and you work long hours, and you've got to get out of the situation, and sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah, when we come up with a new idea, there's a whole lot more skeptics than there are believers, that's for sure.
There was no snowboarding. We called it surfing on snow. In one of our first ads, we called it gravity travel.
Tired.